Welcome to GHOSTWATCH2016. We're watching Kamen Rider Ghost. My name is Coriander Dickinson, and I've seen some Kamen Rider.
My name is Heather Deary, and I almost forgot my name, but I've also seen some Kamen Rider.
My name is Kate Stark. I've seen shows on television.
This is episode 20,
Bursting the Flames of Friendship.
To recap,
Our hero, Taco Time, was killed by a gnome on his 18th birthday.
and then he became Kamen Rider Ghost, who was charged with collecting a bunch of icons so that he could come back to life.
He has such days in order to collect the eye cups of destiny. There is a paint gnome who wants to be his friend, maybe, or the other way around. Not sure
He
anymore.
wants to befriend the paint gnome.
He wants to be friends with paint gnome.
Important information that both of you just glossed over is that we have 69 days left.
Oh,
Nice.
Nice.
I said he had such days.
Yeah, but you
They
didn't
changed.
say how many specifically, and it's a really important number.
Let's get into it.
We begin in Gnome Hell. Entering the throne room is Sweat Boy.
Real quick.
Best Dad sits upon the largest chair.
Gnome is the best thing that we've done in this podcast.
Oh, definitely.
Gnome is one of my favorites.
F everything else.
Gnome.
Saying the words,
Wait,
we enter in gnome hell.
wait. His name is no longer Best Dad. He's King of the Gnomes.
I figured you'd
Oh.
go Papa Smurf, honestly.
King of the Gnomes.
King of the Gnomes.
So we're in we're in
We're in Gnome Hell.
Is it Gnome Hell or Gnome World?
Gnome Hell.
There was just Gnome. Is Gnome World just normal hell?
No, it's Gnome Hell.
we're in Gnome is what I was
Gnome.
gonna
Gnome.
say.
We're in Gnome,
Gnome Hell.
No.
the world of the gnomes.
Not hell.
Is
Not
Gnome.
world.
Is this Sweat
We're
Boy?
in-
I've been writing down Sweat Man.
Gnome.
I've been writing on Sweat Boy.
Is he a man or a boy?
We'll find out.
After these messages from this dad. No, wait, I'm sorry, we changed his name. Papa Smurf? No, King of Gnomes. That one.
The Gnome King
The Gnome King.
sits upon the large chair.
The King's Game. Ball chess.
Golf.
Golf for the gnomes.
Golf. Gnome.
Gnome golf.
Oh wait, are they gnomes now?
The national sport.
Art Gnome.
Good gnome.
King
He's
of
a
the
very good gnome.
Gnomes.
It's a very quick scene that happens where you get to see
breathe.
Gnome Hell, and then we're quickly into Snapple HQ to watch some more bad clip art on the screen that we saw last time.
And Taco Time's all like, I don't see why I can't be friends with everyone.
He's also confused as to why PB has a problem with Spectre.
I have
being-
also started writing PB as his name.
I like PB better than Pretty Boy because it makes me think of peanut butter.
I've been writing PB forever.
Oh! Alright, so PB.
PB.
PB's got a problem with friendship.
A little PB.
He's got, like, no problems with what he's doing with Makoto, even though he's all like, I'm best friends with Makoto, my slave.
But I bet he's reading into those advice columns and he's just like, Dear advice column person, I have enslaved my friend. I've given him the new name of Spectrum instead of Spectre. And he keeps nodding his head. Am I good?
Now that sounds like an Ask Annie column I would read.
But Akari thinks that the real problem is KMS.
Which I don't remember what that stands for, but it doesn't matter because she's not allowed to make up nicknames like we are.
Killer Man.
Scientist.
Yep.
I'm not sure the M stood for man.
It's exactly right what we just said. Exactly right.
I think we're correct.
I-
Killer man scientist.
I think it should just be Christmas.
Kismus?
Christmas.
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 Hodor, it's Christmas.
No.
Christ Mass. Xmas.
Steampunk Man cannot be named Christmas. That
Most
is
wonderful
weird.
time of the year.
He's not a wonderful person.
All is calm, all is bright.
He is very
Pringle
calm.
man shape.
Kris Kringle.
If you want us to nickname you, please
Send us your name.
on twitter.com/GHOSTWATCH2016. Oh, jeez.
You're
So anyways, Akari's all like, it's my life's goal right now to prove steampunk wrong.
I'm sorry, I just pictured that as her trying to actually prove steampunk as being wrong.
I also
and, like,
realized
on
that
this-
as I was saying it.
This-
As a concept?
This quest where she gets like a bunch of steampunk novels and she's just like, wrong, and this is wrong, and this is not how science works, and
You can't
she just
time
be
travel.
real.
I more imagine her picking apart the fashion and being like, what's this gear doing on your hat?
It's like you can't just interlock 3 gears that way. None of them will turn.
Yeah, like, I feel like she might actually have a problem with just steampunk in general, which is so limiting.
Why she disagrees with Steampunk Man.
Why do you have a monocle hanging out of your coat? I bet you're not even visually impaired. That's literally my whole understanding of steampunk. Is gears and monocles and top hats and boots and vests.
I
And
think you know a
corsets.
lot more than you thought you did.
There's a lot more to it. I don't actually understand it, but I've seen people write about it very passionately.
Is there like steampunk fanfic?
The steampunk comes from novels, as far as I understand. It started as like a Victorian era
Like, you
alternate
know-
history
you know-
type thing.
You know the movie like Time Machine,
No.
old movie.
No.
You know,
Stardust.
No.
like 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
No.
Do you know the Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man.
The Muffin Man.
Do I know the Muffin Man?
Do you know the Muffin Man? Who lives on Mulberry Lane?
Drury.
Dreary. I don't know this rhyme. I'm making it up.
Do you know the Muffin Man? Because it doesn't sound like you do.
He shows up in Arrested Development as a murderer.
Spoilers.
I'm not that far in.
It's in season 3.
I didn't watch the. Is that the Kickstarted one or the Netflix?
No,
season?
no, that's I think
How
in
many
the original
seasons
season.
was?
There's the 4th one is the Netflix season. The first 3 actually
Oh.
just happened on TV. I watched this recently.
Which show are we talking about in this podcast? now?
Ghost
Arrested
Toast.
Development?
Urison is sitting off somewhere, just throwing shade about how stupid people are, and then they're all like, "Let's find out where Canon is from Urison."
I don't even know why they bothered
I don't know why
bringing
they
Urisen into this episode. He was useless.
Maybe he's got like a contract.
And given that, okay, so they set out a bunch of pictures of like, here's all the things that got painted, and it's clearly everything is round except for this one building. And I'm like, so at some point he's gonna try and paint Urison, right? Because he's the most round-looking thing ever.
Just an eyeball
Yeah,
on a cape
With
on
arms.
someone's hand.
yeah.
Tiny arms.
I guess spoilers, but you're listening to this already. He does not get painted.
Urison's all like, "Oh, I saw Canon a little while ago. Canon took off," and Taco's all like, "I gotta go find Canon," and Akari's all like, "I'm gonna check out this rectangle building because it's not circular, and it must be important because it's different."
There was also flashbacks at this point to Paint Gnome talking about how he wanted to paint beautiful things, and then they were like, hey, everything's round, and I'm like, boob jokes are going to happen in this episode, right?
And you were disappointed for some reason. I don't know why you'd
I
be
wasn't-
disappointed at the lack of boob jokes.
I wasn't disappointed. I
You
just,
keep talking about it.
look, it's just a thing that happens in a lot of anime I watch, and I was surprised, and then as I was reminded the show is for like 5-year-olds or something, so clearly wasn't going to happen, except I think that is their level of jokes.
Onari was very concerned about his head getting painted again, so he was wearing this really cute little bobble
right.
head, like, toque, or not bobblehead. It was a toque with, like, a pom-pom on top, a bobble on top.
Yeah, but he had it like pulled back, like it's a long toque, and he was just like wearing the edge of it. We'll sell you the whole toque, but you only need the edge.
It took everything in me to not say it.
And then I did.
That's why we're friends.
So there's a lot of cutting back and forth, as I really should stop writing them as Science and Monk. Akari and Onari went to check out the building.
The Science and Monk division of Snapple.
And Taco Time went off to find Canon. And then there was also Mr. Steampunk walking around doing things.
So we cut to the inside of the building, to the top floor, where there's a business presentation going on.
In like a boardroom.
And the possessed president is there, and there's like a bunch of other business people that I assume work for him and aren't just like looking for a lunchroom or something. And he's all like, well, Steampunk here is in charge of everything now. Listen to whatever he says. And then Steampunk, I think, cackles a bit and then like releases more icons to possess the rest of the room. And I have questions about the order of events here.
Everybody in the room was looking at him like he was insane, even though he's the president.
That's the problem I have. Because why did Steampunk need to do a presentation?
I don't know.
About their company logo.
I've called you here today
to possess you.
Additionally, to talk about the graphics of our logo.
They're not steampunk enough. Let me help you with
Let's
that.
add some gears in there.
Maybe some googly eyes for fun.
Just a big boiler.
Apologies to any of our listeners if you're into steampunk. We don't judge.
We mostly just have a very lack understanding of what steampunk is.
But if you have a coal burning truck, stop listening now. Just leave. Get out.
So Taco Tam runs into the mailman, who
we haven't seen in ages.
Yeah, and it's kind of like great that I thought it was great that he's showing up. I don't know why I'm always happy when the mailman shows up because he seems like such an incidental character. But he's just like, yeah, some people are saying some stuff about a weird looking gas tank.
And Taco's all like, gas tank? Weird looking. And he runs off.
Turns out the gas tanks are round. And
spoilers.
Painted. I thought we were allowed to talk about spoilers. Spoilers aren't really round. They go on the back of cars and they're flat.
They're circular. Wait.
Spoilers.
Car spoiler?
Long
No.
and flat.
I'm thinking of rims.
Yeah, those
are
spinners.
Yeah,
spinners.
Yeah.
Spoilers create drag to hold the car down when it's going very fast.
If we had watched Kamen Rider Drive, we would know because he has a spoiler on his hat.
Yeah. We would know so much more about the cars. But we are here for the ghosts. Paint Gnome is on a bridge. He also likes bridges. He's going to get along real well with these guys.
And Taco's all like, you just want to paint stuff. And he's like, whoa, get away from me.
Basically, he says he can't trust humans.
Basically.
I wrote down Taco Time runs after for friends.
Well, yeah, Taco several times was like, I just want to be your friend. I just want to be your friend. And Paint Gnome was like, well, what does a friend do? And Taco said, a friend is someone who cares about you and you care about them. And then he just went, I can't trust humans.
I mean, think about it from Paint Gnome's perspective, though. He's got a person who keeps chasing him. He just wants to paint things, be left alone in a Starbucks somewhere to paint all the round coffee cups. And here's this guy who's just like, I want to be a friend. I want to be your friend.
TBH,
Kate, I want to be your friend.
That's what you guys did to me. That's why I'm here.
But it worked.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm saying Taco should do that. Corey appears to be disagreeing.
I don't think she remembers. It was a while ago. And it was a very emotional night of friendship. You could even say it was bursting.
With flames?
Yeah.
Of friendship?
Yeah.
I don't remember setting any fires recently.
Oh, this wasn't recent.
Recently, you don't?
In the last, 5 years.
This friendship's been brewing for a while, Coriander.
All right. So cut to a very similar scene where PB is just walking along and 5 feet behind him is Cannon, following him like a crazy stalker.
Super creepy.
Then we cut to outside the office building where Onari's like, there's nothing suspicious here. And Akari's like, nope, I know there's a connection somehow, but let's walk away from this building.
On the waterfront.
Spectre's waterfront?
A tiny I think it's nearby because that would explain some of the people walking around. Steampunk confronts Art Gnome. Like, I didn't believe the corruption had spread. I don't remember the accent that I used to do for Mr. Steampunk.
Just make a new one.
It's just like, you suck now. You're gross, Art Gnome. You're broken. Go for every education. And Art Gnome's like, I don't want to. I want to paint. And Mr. Steampunk's all like, well, if re-education won't work, then we'll just dispose of you.
You think Steampunk is just like the disappointed dad of Paint Gnome? Where he's like, I want you to be a doctor, but you insist on being an artist? I need to write this down for Tiny Table Friends.
So he transforms into super raggedy ass Ganma.
Oh yeah, I remember that
His
happening.
Stupid busted coat.
Looks really bad.
You'd think someone so into steampunk would like get their aesthetic together.
Like a
It's
leather coat with gears on it.
or like epaulets or something, instead of something that's been on fire
Multiple
from the inside.
gold buttons.
Yeah,
Corseting.
like a brown coat.
Yup.
I don't remember what he looks like because I was distracted by things that happened later. But I did enjoy how they made Canon and PB like show up at the bridge on top to watch.
Yeah, because what happens is Taco shows up because
Yeah.
he's been following him, and so Taco goes boost in response to Super Ganma, and then PB and Canon walk up.
Gnome. Super gnome.
Super.
You're right.
We gotta
Correct. Okay.
keep consistent.
Taco
We
goes,
don't want to confuse our listeners.
Yes, and so PB can see them like they're standing up on a ledge, but Canon can't. So it looks like PB's just staring at the river.
Which is not unlike him. That's very normal behavior. I'm sure Canon is very used to that. And his water staring contest.
From Canon's view, they're having a nice moment. From PB's view, he's having like a good show, watching the gnome fight.
Yeah, stuff is definitely going down by the water.
I mean, that's typical boyfriend thing, right? Where they're not really paying attention. They're busy watching TV.
TBH, I thought Canon could see the Ganma, which is confusing
Mhm.
for me.
The gnome.
You're right. Don't want to confuse our listeners.
That's right.
I thought Canon could see the gnomes.
I also thought that. But maybe it's because she's not an eye cup anymore.
Interesting.
Maybe Spider Lantern has been there with her like every other time. I don't know. Maybe they gloss over that really quickly. Anyways, the green gnome comes back and Taco transforms into Musashi and they fight.
I want to point out so we don't confuse our listeners. We're talking about the generic green gnome.
Totally.
You remember the generic green gnome?
Totally
I'm sure
generic.
you remember.
Didn't have anything of a weird beard or hair.
Or
the
dragon
jacket
things.
was like
Yeah,
super
no.
plain.
Dragon nose.
Very, very generic. I believe Corey has a character card for reference on the website, actually.
For the green gnome?
For the generic one?
If you
No, I have a generic.
Is
Because the
that a
generic
different
gnomes are the
Oh.
little minion ones, but
You
I don't
don't
think I
have-
did the green one yet.
You haven't
if
done
you
green?
do need assistance picturing just how super basic this gnome is, just like Google Kamen Rider Ghost green. Google won't pick up on gnome, so try Ganma.
Actually, just Google green gnome, and you'll probably get something really similar.
It'll be close enough. It'll be close enough.
Toe to tip. That's
Just
a
a
gnome.
green gnome.
Yeah, no, that's about accurate. They fight, and then there's a point where Green Gnome is all like, oh, I can see Paint Gnome over there. I'm just going to hit him instead because I am having problems with Booster Juice.
Okay, should we clarify that this is steampunk green gnome? Green steampunk gnome.
I think we can still call him Green Gnome.
But
Steampunk turned
he's
into
not
Green Gnome.
autonomous. He's still steampunk. He's
Ooh,
wearing
ooh, ooh.
green gnome.
I've got a name for him. Steamed Greens.
This sounds like a ship.
A ship that is
Like a boat
sinking.
or a ship, like an OTP.
Both.
You said it sounds like a ship, and I was like, everyone come aboard the Steam Greens ocean liner for your cruise
Exactly.
to Alaska.
That's why I said both. You can totally picture a boat named Steam Greens.
I think we should call this one Steamed Greens. It makes sense. It's steampunk and Green Gnome in together.
Do you think our listeners can follow anything we say?
No!
Or is this more ASMR
I
for them at
can't
this
follow
point?
anything we
I
say.
don't think the noises we make qualify for ASMR.
That's fair.
If anyone's getting the tingles from this. from us just being like,
I don't
okay.
want to know.
so Steam Greens then threatens the art gnome, and then
Paint
taco
gnome.
time.
His name is Paint Gnome.
No, his name is Art Gnome.
I've been calling him Paint Gnome.
Too late. It's Art Gnome now.
Or both. I think I actually, while I was writing the notes for this episode, I wanted to call him Arthur.
I do like Arthur.
Why?
Art.
That seemed pretty obvious.
God damn it, Corey.
I know how English names work.
Steamed Greens threatens Arthur. I guess his name's Arthur now. I like this. This is good. And walks up to him with I can't remember what his weapon's called.
It is not a naginata.
Right, it's not a naginata. And he goes to make a slashing motion at him with some kind of overpowered move. And Taco Time, who's like, no, jumps in front to protect Arthur, who's just like, what?
So at this point, PB's watching, and he's all like, what is Taco Time like? And Cannon's all like, he's pretty sincere and gung-ho and stuff.
He's nice, just like you.
He's nice like you. You guys could be friends.
You could be friends.
Friends. Forever.
Yeah. Cannon's doing some shipping of her own there. Some friend shipping. I don't think PB is up for friendships. He might be confused like Arthur is about what those are.
So Taco goes to Omega Drive, and Steampunk disappears in a cloud of smoke.
PB walks off, and then Ken just continues to follow him so that they flow out of the scene as well. The mailman, however, is around the corner, and he sees Cannon walking around a corner. And he's like,
they're entering a construction site or something like that. Like they're going through a gate.
Then Arthur and Taco Time are on another bridge, a different bridge from previous bridge. And Arthur is saying, thank you for saving me. He wants to paint. He was told something about having to paint that building, but he really likes round things. They're beautiful.
He likes to have fun.
And Taco Time's like, that's cool, but your painting is kind of hurting people. I don't want you to stop painting, but maybe you should take a break for a bit. Maybe, until we figure this out. But Paint Gnome's not super happy about that.
He's like, you just want me to stop painting. Arrgh.
Then the mailman rounds the corner. He sees Taco Time talking to the air, and he's like, hey, everything okay? By the way, I saw Cannon. With like, a really boyfriend-looking guy.
I don't understand how everyone's just like, oh, pretty boy, he's good looking. That's a boyfriend. They can't be friends. Definitely.
It's like anyone that watches any TV show. It's like a man and a woman are together in a scene.
They're together.
They're together. During the conversation with Mailman,
this was sad.
It's super sad.
He's like, hey, Taco, you talking to anyone? Is there someone over there? And he's like, oh, no, not talking to anyone. And Art Gnome's like, humans lie!
It was basically like, I'm clearly right here. You're lying to this person.
Yeah, I don't think Arthur knows that he can't be seen.
No. Be like, we can't be friends.
I feel real bad for Arthur.
Yeah, it bummed me out.
Cannon keeps following PB around, yelling about how I guess not yelling, saying how she believes in him and he did so much for her and it'd be great. And they almost kind of seem to be having a moment of PB being like, really? You believe in me?
It was like a moment of understanding, basically.
We get a flashback to Gnome.
Correct.
Trying that out.
Yep. Gnome.
With childhood Makoto and Cannon being escorted down some stairs by the lady in white, who is PB's sister, who took them into her house.
Can I just say I super don't like Gnome?
As a name?
No, as a place.
Oh, yeah.
Love the name. Gonna get it tattooed across my face.
They need an elevator, I think.
The stairs in there are ridiculous.
They seem
brutal.
really
Excessive.
tiny and spirally, and like they could really... An elevator would solve a lot of
My
problems.
problem is that it's clearly a real building that they're filming in. So somewhere on our planet exists this building that is awful.
So if you want to fund Corey, myself, and Hodor to go find this building in Japan...
Probably. I mean, we might have to check some places.
It's very likely in Japan.
In Odaiba.
Then we go back to Cannon talking to PB and telling him how she doesn't think he would hurt her brother, and that they're friends and that it's all okay, but she kind of still wants to know where her brother is. And PB's like, wait, you believe in me? But then Taco Time ruins the whole thing by jumping in on his bike.
Rolls up on his goddamn motorcycle.
Does a sweet jump.
And then like a skid stop.
And for some reason he's wearing orange.
And not red.
Yeah, he decided, I don't need to booster juice just for a bike ride. I could still be orange Taco Time.
And at this point, PB's like, you told him where we were. Cannon, I can't trust you.
You don't believe in me at all. And then he calls in Spectrum. And Cannon asks him to stop, but there's something about hearts and friendship at this point.
Okay. Spectrum goes to thwap.
That is a very good word.
Thwap. Ghost with his gun. For some reason, he's using it as a bludgeoning instrument. And Cannon's like, no, stop. And he hesitates for a while. And Taco's all like, he's still resisting. In his heart, he knows that this is wrong. We're still friends.
PB? No, wait. This was Spectrum. He was all Omega Spark and knocks Taco Time out of his transformation.
Correct.
Yeah, well, that's because PB is all like, no, his heart is dead. I have taken it away so that he is no longer suffering. And he commands, basically, Spectrum to use the Omega Spark.
I was confused by that because I've seen plenty of anime where they really do those things, and I was like, wait, did he do that? I can't remember. Is this metaphorical? I'm getting confused by our hearts and our friendship speeches.
It's like, why would you make your friend suffer this way? And PB's all like, your hearts make you suffer. Taco's all like, our hearts make us human.
Arthur's watching from behind a thing because, he's about to have a friendship moment.
They're in an area made of concrete boxes and barricades.
It looked like a shooting range or like target practice.
But it's attached to a warehouse that's full of empty boxes.
Maybe they're full of guns. Or they were full of guns.
Everybody shows up at this point.
Like everybody who is a character on this show.
I did
Pretty
not
much.
see Condor Phone, so I don't know how Onari and Akari got there.
Condor Phone wasn't there. Gramps wasn't there.
Spider Lantern was there.
Mailman wasn't there.
Yeah.
Pretty much everybody else on the show was there.
Yeah,
The students weren't there. Okay, a bunch of people were missing, but like a lot of people were still there.
The main characters you expect who have shown up in this episode so far, all there. All of them there. Except for, I guess, Steampunk.
So Spectrum goes to use Necrom Omega Drive on Taco Time, even though he's like out of his transformation.
And guess what happens? Just guess.
Does Arthur have a friendship moment?
Arthur had a friendship moment.
And by friendship, we mean self-sacrifice, because he like totally takes one for Taco Time.
Threw himself in front of Taco, blocked the shot, falls to the ground.
PB is all like, what? Like, he's mildly surprised by what's going on.
And Taco's like got a very tearful moment where he's like, why did you do this? So he's like, because we're friends.
This was the moment they chose to use Spider Lantern, by the way. Just before the friendship, oh my goodness, you're about to die, don't die on me, and then he appears to die on him moment.
Then Taco gets mad.
Well, first Taco gets sad and cries.
Yeah.
I was waiting for crystal tears.
There were no crystal tears, which is
there
very
was
disappointing.
one splat. There was a really good splat tear.
On like the back of a hand.
So you really knew that those were tears, but I was like, oh my goodness, Crystal. No, nope.
It might have still been a magic tear. We don't know.
I mean, he had no one. He really couldn't hug anyone. Like, he could have. He didn't do the hug crystal tear thing.
He could have, but
it's been a while.
Arthur was dead.
Maybe he's out of practice. He hasn't hugged anyone recently.
Maybe he needs a hug.
He might need a rejuvenating crystal tear hug.
Taco, if you're listening, just come and we'll give you a nice
give you a hug.
Rejuvenating crystal tear hug.
I'm not volunteering myself for that.
No, he's going to bring the crystals here, so we're just going to hug.
Exactly. I'm not volunteering myself for that.
I volunteer as sacrifice.
Friendship.
Just like Arthur taught us.
The music got kind of intense here all of a sudden, didn't it?
Sure
With
did.
the camera angles.
I believe I wrote down more Michael Bay.
Angry, de-transformed Taco Time charges at Spectrum.
Dodging a whole bunch of bullet laser gun blasts all of a sudden in camera waving around. Very intense, kind of almost slow motion.
There are explosions as the shots hit the concrete barriers, as Taco Time dodges back and forth. And Taco Time like runs up and just grabs Spectrum's gun and like holds it behind his head. And at the same time, which I was not expecting, Cannon comes up and hugs him from the other side.
Yeah, that was really surprising, but maybe because the camera was so focused on slow motion running from Taco Time.
Yeah.
She may have also been slow motion running in a different corner, but not with gun blasts.
So they're struggling, and then a purple icon flies out and sucks Taco into the icon zone.
Only for a minute, though. It was just a quick little chat.
Nobunaga was happy, and then like,
We'll
like,
help you.
I'll help you, and it's like, okay, cool, that's out of the way.
And then back to normal world.
And like he comes back, and he's still holding on to Spectrum's gun.
Yeah, I kind of felt like they were like, oh, we need that to happen here.
It was like two places at once, outer body experience, sort of.
So these 3 icons pop out of Spectrum's inventory.
Spectrum is glowing. Like, all of his very obvious bits that would glow on his armor are just glowing.
Like, I think that's because of his inner struggle. And the icons become jackets? Well, 2 of them do.
So there was Nobunaga,
Tutankhamun.
Tutankhamun. And then there was a third icon that was blue, but I think that might have just been Spectre's icon.
Isn't it...
or Edison?
Is it Grimm? Is it the Brothers Grimm?
Newton?
No,
Newton?
it's the other one that...
There was one that was just floating around as an icon, and it was one of the blue ones. And then the other 2 were
Grimm
jackets.
is green. Because remember, we thought it was
Brothers Grimm was gray.
we thought it was Robin Hood.
Anyways, one of them stays in icon form and hits the driver belt compartment to like pop it open like a cassette
I think it's my favorite
thing.
because then Nobunaga, with his non-existent scarf hands, runs up and pulls the icon out and then throws it.
But like he's being helped by Tutankhamun. Like they both rush up together in jacket form and like
Gang up.
reach in to pull this icon out of the
Well,
belt.
they're clearly
And
jacket
they
buddies.
toss it to PB.
Right into his hand.
Yep.
Which was weird. It's like, oh, hey, here's an icon. Can we keep it for the
Yeah.
thing that we're doing?
Nope.
But no, here, let's give it back to the opposing side.
I wrote down Nobunaga, scarf hands, belt free, whatever. I got confused.
And Makoto detransforms. And now he's Makoto again. And he no longer has to nod. He can say words.
Everyone is super happy except for PB. PB is not happy.
PB transforms into Necrom.
And Akari and Anari and Canon, they all run away.
Taco Time, booster juice's up. Makoto, Spectre's up.
Punch, punch,
Punch,
punch.
punch.
There was a lot of
There
punching.
was an awful lot. There was an awful lot of 3-way punching.
And then they move into a warehouse.
Not 3-way punching. 2 of them were punching one of them.
They were all punching at the same time.
And they continue punching.
There was a warehouse punch,
They punch some more.
and then
They punched.
They fall into some containers that are empty. Like there's an oil barrel and a gasoline can and some kerosene stuff and
More-
some boxes.
More punching.
They punch each other.
yeah, I saw some punching and I looked away, and then I looked back up, and PB turned into some green weird liquid.
So what happened is that Taco Time and Spectre ended up on opposite sides of him and both used their guns to shoot at him. And to dodge, he turned into liquid
And then
that
like
could fly.
yeah, and then like snaked off.
Like flying green liquid, and he like snaked off, and I was like, oh, he's gonna escape. This will be the end of the episode.
And then he came back and then was a figure again.
Yeah, he was Necrom still. He
Yeah.
just did a closer up shot of Taco and Spectre, and that Necrom comes in from the side. They punch again. They just start punching.
Real weird. And then I think it was Taco Time is like, believe in me, and gave Spectre Edison.
Yeah, like they were standing back to back and then very stealthily hands Spectre like the icon. And then
He goes around the other side to go shoot again.
but then Pretty Boy turns to fluid again.
Spectre turns into Edison and then electrocutes the fluid.
Then there's some kicking and some power of friendships and some stuff about hearts. And Necrom starts to glow real big, like
Green.
outlandish, like he's about to do something real insane.
And then he gets like a text message,
Well, Floaty Eye Cup came by with a text message.
and he's like, whoa, gotta go.
See ya.
Walks
Nerds.
away.
And they de-transform, and they're like, well, I guess we're not fighting now.
But you had a strong reaction to that.
Because they were in the middle of the fight. Like, they weren't fighting because they didn't have a choice not to. They were fighting because they're, like, continually mad at each other and whatnot. So I don't think the fight being interrupted by a text message would be enough to just stop everything.
I
And
mean,
then
he's
for them to
gotta-
give up.
He's got to set those eye cups to don't disturb. Also, can we backtrack just for a second where the Believe in Me scene happened and we really thought that they were going to hold hands?
It really looked like they were going to
And
hold
I
hands.
really was like the most disappointed I was all episode was them not holding hands and doing
a
the power
combo
friendship
attack?
combo attack.
I think the show you're looking for is Yuri on Ice.
That's what I keep hearing.
Yeah.
I don't know how much hand holding is in Yuri on Ice. You're watching Yuri on Ice. Is there hand holding?
Do the boys smooch?
I mean, they just
Spoilers! I feel
Uh,
like that's all we should tell because our listeners might also listen to Yuri and they might get spoiled.
I'll bleep
Yeah.
this whole out. I'll like garble it or something.
I was on fanfiction.net and I read a thing that was like, oh, Yuri on Ice fanfic, where they go to the States to compete and then they realize they're in America so that they can totally get married. And I was just like, aw, I'm not reading that, but that sounds real sweet.
Paint Gnome wakes up.
He's not dead!
Everybody's happy.
Akari's all like, Paint Gnome just wanted to paint. And Inari's like, oh no, don't paint my head.
Yup.
And he runs off and Paint Gnome chases him.
Yeah. Arthur and Inari. That's not really a good ship in my brain. Canon hugs Spectre.
Spectre talks to Taco, and Spectre delivers some disturbing news, saying that his body is still in Gnome hell, and Pretty Boy can dispose of it whenever he wants.
Yeah, which is actually pretty shocking because I don't think any of us thought that Spectre was not alive and not in a body.
I thought he was totally alive and fine.
Is Canon alive and fine?
Will we ever know?
Spectre. She can see Spectre, but she can't see the ghost fighting.
But can Spectre see the ghost fighting?
I believe so.
We don't even know anymore.
I'm not really. I'm really confused by who can see what.
We're now in Gnome, and there's creepy family meeting happening again. Everyone's sitting around a table.
They all have individual tables, I think.
Well, yeah, but they're in a room.
Tiny little coffee tables.
Now, who the hell rolls up like a mother effer?
We get some close-ups of like boots, and like clearly a uniform.
I'm gonna say it.
And a giant face.
It's Gramps.
His name is Edith.
It's Gramps.
It's Gramps. But is it Gramps?
What is Gramps doing there?
Is it actually Gramps though?
IDK, I haven't seen the next episode.
I'm just saying it might not be Gramps. He could have like a twin brother. It could be he has a split personality.
I know those eyes. It Gramps.
It does a close-up on his eye, like a single eye.
I know.
I mean, he is wearing something weird, which is not uncommon.
He's got hair. That's a problem.
Maybe everyone has hair in Gnome.
I mean, I haven't seen anyone in Gnome without hair. Do you think if Onari went to Gnome, he'd get hair?
If he lets the art gnome paint him, he'll get something resembling hair.
Get something.
His head will grow thing.
This episode was weird.
Punch.
A lot happened.
There's a lot of just like rapid cuts between different groups and then like very little moved on the plot and then like they just dropped bombs at the end.
That's one of the
They're just
reasons I couldn't keep up.
Gnomes can be friends. My body's in hell. Edith?
Like normally if it moves at this pace but the plot is spread out over the episode, I'm good.
Yeah.
And that did not happen this episode. It was like drag, and I was like, I don't understand what's happening.
There was a lot of like everybody's doing stuff at the same time, which is why there were so many quick cuts, but that was just confusing.
My brain did not make sense of it very well.
I couldn't keep up with my notes. I mean, I generally can't keep up with my notes at certain points, but there's more of a point where it's like, oh, they're fighting. Punch, great. I don't have to write for a couple minutes. They keep switching scenes, and I have to make note of the fact that we're switching scenes. Stop switching scenes. Nothing is going on in these scenes.
So what do you think's going to happen next? We're going to go on a little vacation to Ganma Hell?
I think we're going to talk to Gramps a little bit.
I think, yeah, we're going to have to go to Gnome to retrieve body parts. Probably a heart. I'm hoping they take some takoyaki with them so that PB can get over his fear of eating it.
Oh, I thought you were going to say so they can intimidate their enemies by eating spheres.
Oh, that's also good, though. I like that as well. Maybe one of them. I believe they're going to bring takoyaki with them.
And other round foods. Timbits?
I'm
Timbits
guessing
look just like icons.
And also Takoyaki.
I'm guessing that Canon will follow, even though they will tell her not to.
Just a mixed bag of Timbits and takoyaki. That won't get confusing.
Man, I'd like some Timbits. Or takoyaki. Not together. No, not mixed bag. No. No.
Just realized I said together. It's like, reach in. One of these is warm and covered in mayo. The other has a light dusting of powdered sugar.
Delish.
No, you see, because if you mix the bag together, you're going to pick up the one that is dusted in sugar, and it's going to have some mayo on it. It's going to be gross.
Wait. No. Takoyaki filled with mayo instead of on top.
Where does the octopus go?
Around. Like, it's still an octopus ball, but filled with mayo as if it was a jelly filled.
They're not.
Oh, there's octopus in the middle?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just,
the
it's,
octopus
it's like
in the
a little
middle.
cube of octopus, and they bread it and fry it.
Oh.
So your mental model there is a little...
My headcanon on takoyaki is a bit off, I think.
I mean, I like where you were going with that.
I just thought it was like a bunch of octopus that had been like diced up real effing thin and then like formed into a ball and then breaded.
No.
It's more like a tiny cube.
It's a cube.
It sounds worse than mine.
Oh, they're really good.
I should make takoyaki.
You should get like one of those takoyaki grills. They make special grills that are like egg cartons.
I should
yeah.
get a stand like Miss Fumi.
Mrs.
Mrs. Fumi.
Mrs. Fumi. Yeah.
I got there. Corey, do you want to announce the thing that happened?
I added a donate button to the website. So if you go to GHOSTWATCH2016.xyz on a computer, there's a donate button in the sidebar. If you're on mobile, then you have to go to GHOSTWATCH2016.xyz/donate.html because our layout doesn't show the sidebar, apparently. And I'll maybe fix that later. Maybe.
Make sure you go and follow us on Twitter as well. It's twitter.com/GhostWatch2016. We have a website too, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
That you just talked about.
We've technically covered the website.
You can
But
go
I
to the
mean-
website for purposes other than to give us money for no reason.
GhostWatch2016.xyz. What, we're on YouTube?
YouTube's, yeah, YouTube's.
GhostWatch2016?
Instagram?
Hello?
No.
Nope.
LinkedIn?
Nope.
Curious Cat.
Tinder?
Ask FM.
Bumble?
Tumblr.
What is Bumble?
Grinder? I don't know. I heard about it the other day.
Are you suggesting you're suggesting Grindr? So I think your bar is a little low there for like what a podcast should be on. But
Hey man, we don't discriminate.
Bumble, you don't even-
iTunes.
yes, we're on iTunes.
We're on iTunes.
Oh!
That's a real one.
GhostWatch2016.
Yeah.
What other things exist? Snapchat?
Nexopia.
What other things exist?
MySpace.
Clouds.
The Cloud.
Neopets.
We're on the Cloud.
Are we on Neopets? Can we have a Neopet?
We can have a Neopet.
Are we on Pokemon Go?
All of us, I think, individually are on Pokemon Go.
I just got a notification on my watch about Pokemon saying there were new Mon, and I was like, no, there's not.
Yeah, there's
You
tiny
can
baby
hatch the eggs.
There's tiny
You can
baby
get- You
Pokemon.
can get like a Togepi now.
Or you could get Santa Chew.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
there's a Santa hat Pikachu.
I haven't played this game in like 3 months.
You can get a
It's
Pikachu
okay.
and a Santa hat, and there's a daily bonus thing if you keep doing stuff. Like
You
like-
They
catch a
really want
Pokemon
people to play
and
this
thing.
game, don't they?
yeah, I'm on day 4 of Pokestops, and it's like 550 XP for a Pokestop instead of the 50 that it normally is.
You just
Every
you just have to
Pokestop?
hit, no, just
No,
you have
the
to,
first one.
just the first one, but you only
But
have to
you
get the
get
one.
bonus items.
Ugh.
You
and
don't.
then
We
you
don't
get
have
like
to
a
play
big
this game.
bonus XP for
It's
your first
okay. I
Pokemon
know,
for
but
the
it-
day.
It sounds playable again, which is the problem. If only they had done this 4
It
months
is.
ago.
It is playable this now.
Thanks for listening to our
more
podcast.
playable.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
what we're doing right now. We're ending it
Have a good time.
We'll be back. At a
Probably
time.
next time.
next time.
Goodbye.
On Ghost Watch, episode 21. We'll be there.
Woo!